Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
Tonight, we are celebrating Purim Katan, which is the Purim date in the first Adar of a leap year. The source of the name Purim Katan is unclear, as we do not find this term used in the Gemara, in the Talmud, or the Rishonim. Nonetheless, perhaps it's considered similar to what some Rishonim write of the small Pesach, Pesach Sheni, so too we call this Purim the small Purim. The idea of Purim Katan is first mentioned in the Mishnah, in Maseches Megillah Daf Vav, and the Mishnah there brings three opinions regarding the status of the 14th of Adar Rishon in a leap year. Some hold that you should do all the mitzvahs of Purim in the first Adar just like the second Adar, except for reading Megillah. Others rule that you're not supposed to do anything in the first Adar at all, while others rule that while the mitzvahs you don't do in the first Adar, and only in the second Adar do you fulfill the mitzvahs of Purim, nonetheless, the first Adar is a day on Purim Katan on the 14th and 15th that we do not say Tachnan and we do not do Hespedim, and that is how we rule Halacha. In the last chapter in Shulchanaruchharav, it is ruled that on Purim Katan, which is on the 14th and 15th of Adar Rishon, which is starting from tonight until Wednesday evening, we do not say Tachanun in davening. We likewise omit Tachanun starting from Mincha of today, Mincha of the 13th, which is Erev the 14th. For the same reason, Hespedim are not allowed to be given on these days, and it is likewise forbidden to fast on the 14th and 15th of Adar Rishon. Regarding if a Chasen and Kala on the day of the Chasen are to fast on the 14th and 15th of Adar Rishon, so this matter is disputed amongst Pesachim. A majority of Pesachim rule that they are not to fast on the 14th of Adar Rishon. It is recorded that the Rebbe once gave a directive to a certain Chasen to specifically fast on Adar Rishon on the 14th, and certainly on the 15th. Regarding visiting a cemetery, it is permitted to visit a cemetery on Purim Katan on the 14th or the 15th. This applies whether it's at the end of Shiva, a Shleishim, or a Yartzeit. However, as we said before, eulogies may not be given on this day. And Mitzvah Hashem, in tomorrow's class, we will go into the mitzvah of having a special meal on Purim Katan. The customs applicable on Purim Katan. In yesterday's class, we discussed the halacha regarding Tachanun, and today we will discuss other minhagim applicable to Purim Katan, such as having festive meals. So we brought yesterday from the Gemara in Megillah the three different opinions regarding how one is to relate to Purim Katan. Some opinions even going as far as saying that you should give Mishloach Manos, Matanos Lavyanim, and do all the mitzvahs except for reading Megillah on Purim Katan. Practically, the ruling in Shulchan Aruch is as follows: that on Purim Katan, you do not read the Megillah, you don't give Shalach Manos, you don't give Matanos Lavyanim, and there's no prohibition to do Malacha, even though on Purim we are accustomed not to do Malacha. Likewise, Al Hanisim is not recited on Purim Katan, although it is brought down in Pesachim that in the event that one accidentally said Al Hanisim, then he does not have to repeat Shemana Esrei in that event. Regarding having festive meals. So regarding festive meals, it is unclear from the Gemara whether it applies on Purim Katan just like on Purim or not. As the only thing we rule from that Gemara is that it's a day that we don't say Tachanun. So maybe that means that also it's a day of festivities, that you should have to have a festive meal. On the other hand, maybe it's just that you shouldn't do things that mention sin, but to have a festive meal, there's no obligation. So practically, this matter is a machlekes in the Rishonim. We have the Ran, who holds that you do have to have a festive meal on Purim Katan, just like on Purim. And practically in the Shulchan Aruch, there are more rules as follows. There are more rules that one is to increase in festive meals on the 14th of Adar Rishon in order to suspect for those opinions that say that you have to have a festive meal. Now, the Ramah writes that you only have to have a slight increase in your festivities, as we don't completely rule like the opinion of the Ran. However, the other Pesachim, the Taz and Mishnah Berurah, write down that since the Ramah concludes there in a sentence of that halach of a Toiv Leiv Mishnah Tamid, which is a verse in Mishlei that says that it's always a good thing to have a festive meal to be merry, so they conclude, these Achreinin, that in truth you're supposed to have a great feast just like you have on Purim itself. And that so did Rabbi Chil Biparish, that he had an actual feast just like on Purim on this day. And the Rebbe in Likutei Sichos goes on further to say that the Ramah didn't want to explicitly write that you have to have a great meal, as if you have to command one to have simcha, it diminishes the simcha, and rather this is to come on its own from the person. The Poskim likewise mentioned that besides for having a great festive meal on this day, you should also invite guests to the meal in order to rejoice together with them. Regarding Yerushalayim, should Yerushalayim celebrate this meal on the 14th or the 15th? So the Poskim write that even Bnei Yerushalayim are to celebrate it on the 14th, even though regarding the actual Purim they celebrate on the 15th. Regarding if one should increase in meals also on the 15th of Adar Rishon, which is on Wednesday, so there is no obligation for one to increase in meals on this day, as mentioned in the Mishnah Berurah and other Poskim. This applies even in Yerushalayim. However, nonetheless, as writes the Eliyah Rabbah, following the dictum that the Ramah writes, that Toiv Leiv Mishte Tamid, that it's always a good thing to be happy and rejoice. So therefore, it is proper to increase in a festive meal even on the 15th of Adar Rishon, and certainly this applies to Bnei Yerushalayim, being that their day of Purim is on the 15th.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many Sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.